right, I think we are ready to get started. Welcome everyone to Intro to Wrangle for HR teams. To kick everything off, we'll do some quick introductions. My name is Claire Littell, and I'm joined today by Matt Wetmore. We're going to start off with an overview of Wrangle, including ticketing and workflows, and then we're going to show you a live demo of each, and then we'll finish it up with Q&A. Feel free to add any questions in the chat as we go along, and we'll address them at the end. And this webinar is going to be available to rewatch on demand after the fact. So just head back over to your original registration confirmation to review it again later. We will also be adding this to our YouTube channel. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with just a quick overview of what Wrangle actually is and what we do. Wrangle is a Slack app that helps you transform your Slack workspace into an internal help desk using a combination of ticketing and workflows. You're probably already getting requests and questions from your colleagues in Slack, and with Wrangle, you can manage those requests in a way that provides better transparency to your requesters, as well as improved visibility and reporting into the time that you and your team spend responding to those requests. Something we hear a lot from Wrangle users is that before implementing Wrangle, they knew they were spending a lot of time responding to DMs, channel messages, and so on, but they really didn't know how much time that was. But after implementing Wrangle, they not only saw exactly how much time and effort went into those requests, but they were also able to track improvements over time as they got more efficient in handling those common issues. So how does this help HR teams? Well, HR teams commonly use Wrangle for sensitive tickets like benefit and policy questions, as well as for more structured processes. You can take those processes like employee onboarding and offboarding, recruiting, so on, and manage them directly from Slack while maintaining a full audit trail of who approved what and when. And because we know you're dealing with a lot of sensitive issues, both tickets and workflows can be handled privately. And before we dig into the specifics, here's an overview of some other common Wrangle use cases we see across other departments. Today, we're going to focus on HR, but you can see we also support common processes for teams like HR, finance, marketing, and more. So let's dig in a little bit more on the tools that Wrangle provides to help you with these different use cases, starting with tickets. With a Wrangle ticketing inbox, you can easily transform messages into tickets, giving your requesters an experience they'll love and your agents an easy-to-use inbox for resolving those questions directly from Slack. Your colleagues are already DMing you, so Wrangle helps you meet them where they are, while also providing you with SLAs, better notifications, and CSAT surveys. And moving on to workflows, you can use workflows to automate your business processes using a combination of approvals, forms, and tasks. They can be as simple as just one step or as complex as using conditional logic to dynamically populate different steps throughout the workflow. Any process you have with a clearly defined set of steps can be turned into a workflow. Some common ones we see with HR teams include creating job recs, employee onboarding, employee recognition like spot bonuses, and more. We also provide reporting so you can easily visualize your request volume, time to first response, time to resolution, and more. And we've also got CSV exports so you can drill down even further into your data. And finally, we use Zapier to connect to thousands of core apps like G Suite, Salesforce, QuickBooks, and more. You can kick off a ticket or workflow using triggers from another app, or use a completed workflow or ticket to launch an action in another app. All right, and now I'm going to hand things over to Matt, who's going to walk us through setting up a private HR inbox, as well as using an employee onboarding workflow.
Awesome, thanks, Claire. Let me share my screen and we will jump right into this. So once you have Wrangle installed into your Slack workspace, you'll see the Wrangle app pop up here. And here, users can start tickets and workflows, as well as see a quick dashboard of all the items that they are tied to. So you'll have your created by me items, as well as waiting on me items to see what is still pending for you to do. However, before we create any tickets or workflows, we should create an inbox. So we'll head over to our Wrangle dashboard and we'll go to inboxes. And here's where we will create our inbox. And let's create one that's going to be a private channel for HR sensitive issues, because we don't want anyone just joining this channel and scrolling through people's tickets. So let's create a private inbox. So I'm going to name this webinar HR private ticket. And we can say send your sensitive HR tickets here. And then when we search for a channel, you can see we can choose from either a public or a private channel. And for this one, we are going to choose this human resources private channel. And then you will need to make sure that you add Wrangle into the channel itself. And we want to turn on this toggle, which will be to notify requesters by Slack DM instead of thread. Since they're not going to be involved in this channel because it's a private channel, we want to make sure this is turned on so they still receive notifications about their ticket. So we'll hit next. And here's where we can add our HR admins and agents of our inbox. So here by default, people at Wrangle Demo can request this ticket, and I'm an admin. I'll also add Claire as an admin as well, so she can help me answer these questions. So now that I'm happy with my users and permissions, I'm going to go to automation. Here's where we could say that we could turn any new message in a channel into a ticket automatically, but for now, we will just have a manual ticket creation process. We can add SLAs for Claire and I to get reminded if there's a ticket that needs to be claimed or a ticket that is unsolved within a certain time frame that we will be mentioned in that ticket. So I want to do both of those. I want to say within 2 hours if there's a ticket, Claire and I will be reminded, as well as 2 days if there isn't a resolution to a ticket, we will be reminded. We can also, if we wanted to, turn on auto assign tickets. So Claire and I round robin, no matter who creates a ticket, it'll just go to either one of us automatically and it will auto claim. And then we can also say anyone who just replies to a ticket will be assigned. For now, I'm going to turn this off. We can also notify the requesters when a ticket is first claimed, so they know that we're working on their item, as well as notify them that there's a resolution to their ticket. And at the bottom are some more options so that if a requester replies to a ticket that's been closed or resolved, it will automatically reopen this issue, as well as sending customer satisfaction scores. For this inbox, we'll keep these closed. I'm happy with these settings, but at any point, I could come back and change these. So I'll hit next. And then we could add some additional form fields if we wanted to, such as a select from a list, like what department are you in? We could say sales and marketing, just for the sake of example. And then we'll save these changes. And voila, our ticket inbox is created. We can view our inbox here. And again, we can change all those automations. We can add a canned reply. So maybe I want to say, this is a benefit quick reply. You can find your benefit info here. Blah, blah, blah. And we'll save this. We can see our form fields if we wanted to add some others, as well as we can add tags. So maybe I want a benefits tag and then also a PTO tag. And I'll save those. All right, we are ready. We have no tickets on our inbox yet. So we are ready to go and ready to create some tickets. Now, if I go back to Slack, let's create a ticket and send it to this private inbox. So I'm a general user. I have a question about HR that I know is sensitive, so I'm going to select Start Ticket. And the first question is, which inbox do you want this to go to? And we can select from all of these inboxes that we already have to send it to the right queue and right channel with the right agent. But I know that my question is a sensitive one and it's HR related. So I'm going to choose our webinar HR private ticket inbox. You can see I will name my ticket, Matt's benefit question about X, Y, Z. And I can give it some more details on why I need this. And then I did set a form field, which is what department are you in? I'll say that I'm in the sales department. And by default, I'm creating this ticket on behalf of me. And I could create this on behalf of someone else if I wanted to as well. I'm on the phone with them. I could create the ticket on their behalf. So I will start this ticket. And just like that, poof, I don't need to know as the general user what channel to post this in, who all is involved, the steps I need. I've sent off my ticket and I am good to go. And you can see my human resources channel lights up that Claire and I are a part of. And we can come in here and see the ticket and we can claim it. So I've claimed this ticket and I will say, hey, Matt, we're working on this. Now, this is a private channel that only Claire and I are a part of. So all the sensitive topics will come here and only we have eyes and ears on it. Now, Matt, who created this ticket, he doesn't have access to this channel, but he can still see his instance in his thread ticket when he goes to his Wrangle app and sees his created by me items. I can see, hey, here's my ticket that I just created that's in progress. And I can see the conversation. I can say, hey, thanks for working on this. And we can have a full conversation back and forth just between me and my HR managers about my issue. And when I am in my channel, private channel as the agent, maybe I want to ask Claire, because she's my other HR manager, a question and kind of chat about this without Matt knowing about it. So if I preface my statement with a lock emoji, I could say, hey, Claire, should we do this? And I'll send this. Now, Matt's view, he only sees what we have chatted about without the lock emoji. So he doesn't see these private comments for just us admin. This is a great feature if you want to kind of problem solve an issue right there in the thread, and Matt won't see those private comments. Now I'll go back to this ticket, and we do have a couple more options. So I can reassign this ticket to Claire if I wanted to. I can view the form that Matt filled out with the info, and I do have some more options such as adding followers. I could change this inbox entirely. Maybe this really isn't a HR sensitive issue. Maybe it is a IT issue, and I could send it over to their inbox. I can also change the priority. I can add a tag that this is a benefits question to go back later and search through my tickets to find. Or I could suggest a larger workflow that with a step-by-step procedure format to fill out. But for now, I'm going to leave this in an in-progress status. So let's go over to the web app and see what it looks like from that perspective. So if I go back to my inbox with our webinar HR private ticket, I can see that we have Matt's question right here, and it's in progress. And here, if we had a bunch more tickets, I could very easily sort through all of our in progress tickets that are assigned to Claire, and we could see that we can filter this down. And when I click on my ticket, I can take all the same action that I can in Slack right here in the web app, as well as reply. This is the web app via Slack, because this is the live Slack thread. And if I go back to Slack, I can see that it updates in real time. Now, when we are in the web app, again, we can add those private comments just like we can in Slack, as well as use that handy dandy canned reply for benefits by hitting /. So when I hit /, if I had multiple canned replies, I would see them all here, and I can easily reply to Matt with this canned reply. And for now, I am going to say that this is resolved and we solved Matt's issue. And everything that we do is timestamped. And now back in Slack, Matt will get notified that his ticket is now resolved. And he gets tagged, hey, your ticket is resolved. So Matt is happy now that his benefits question was answered. So this is a great way that we can see and solve tickets that are of a sensitive nature, specifically for HR. So we can set this inbox to a private channel or a public channel if needed. And let me select the inbox that has more ticket count so that we can see all of the tickets. We can sort by resolved and progress, sort by tags. If we wanted to see which tags pertain to this. All right, here are all my benefits questions. And then we can export all of our ticket history via CSV, or we can get some quick reporting to see some good KPIs of who requests this the most, when does our ticket volume happen, how long it takes us to solve tickets, as well as get by agent data. So we can see here, hey, Adam and Matt are solving a lot of these tickets, and Adam and Claire maybe need to pitch in and help a bit more. So we get some good data here. So this is great for those hand raising type of tickets, but we also have workflows that will help us out if it's more of a step-by-step procedure. So for that, let's start a workflow. And for this, let's say it is an onboarding workflow. So if I look at my dropdown of workflows, I can see we have one here for employee onboarding webinar. And this list is all of our workflows that we have created here at Wrangle, but this would be specific to you. And you can also have users and permission to hide things. So we never want Kevin to do an employee onboarding, so we can hide it from his view. But for now, I want to hire someone, so I want to do an employee onboarding workflow. I will start this workflow, and I will type the new employee's name, and it is Kevin, and he is going to be in the sales department, and I hope that he will start in 2 weeks. Now, all of these form fields are customizable. You can add as many as you'd like, and you can see here in the coming steps that we have some conditions as well. So based on how we answer, it'll add steps or remove steps. So I'll submit this. Again, just like with the ticket, as the general manager who's going to submit this, I don't really need to know who all needs to be involved, the step-by-step procedure. It is off and it will do what it needs to do. You can see our human resources channel just lit up because we have a new workflow, which is one we just started. We can see who started it, the progress, as well as which step it is on. So I'm going to click into the reply, and here I can see Matt and Claire are tagged because we are the ones who need to complete this next step. So we can view the form that our manager submitted to see the employee's name, the department, and start date. And now we are tasked to fill out an additional form. So I will fill out this form where we need to send a link to the e-sign offer letter, and I'll just type in link here. I'll confirm that that start date does work. And then, does the employee have any requested accommodations? For this, we're going to say yes, that they do, and describe any of the accommodations. And for this, we want to say specifically that they would like a MacBook instead of a Lenovo. And I'll submit this. And now a new comment is generated in our thread, which is the next step of our workflow. And this next step will be to confirm that the accommodation can actually be made and checking with their department. And again, this step, Matt and Claire are tagged because they need to approve this. So again, we can view the form and see the original form as well as the new form that we filled out. Okay, yeah, we can totally accommodate that request. So we will approve. And now that that's approved, the HR team can now actually do the tasks to onboard this employee, which include ordering the computer, mailing the company shirt and mug, and we'll just knock all these out. And we can also, add an ad hoc task here. If we had another one that just came to mind, and I'll assign that to myself. So we have an additional task that just populated. So I will add email and Slack to that, Kevin, and also do my task 1, 2, 3. Now everything is completed and we are good to go. So if I come back here to my Wrangle dashboard and look at all of my created on me items, my onboarding for Kevin Malone has been completed. I can come back through and see each of the steps because it's all tracked within the thread. And that's a pretty simple workflow, but let's take a look at the web app under workflows to see what actually happened there. So I can see our workflow right here. I can click into it and see that instance of our workflow under completed. And when I view it, I can see all of our form data, and also each step is timestamped to see who completed what, who approved, and who did not take action, as well as when all the steps were completed. And when we look at the design of the workflow, here's where we can really get creative and fun with it and add many different question types. And we can upload files, select date, select people, as well as then we can run additional steps and rearrange them as needed. We can add different people that we want to approve, which channels we want them to post in. And we can even add steps to run only under certain conditions. For instance, we had this step run only if the form that they answered yes. So we have a form that had, do they need any accommodations? And if they selected yes, we want to run this approval to make sure we can actually accommodate these requests. So what we do with that is we hit only run this step, and we'll say only run this additional approval step if the question, has the employee requested any accommodation, is yes. So if they selected no, we wouldn't need this approval and it would skip from offer letter confirmation down to the onboarding tab. And you can add these conditional steps to run based on any other question here, such as maybe we wanted to add another approval for sales approval, and Adam will complete this step in the demo channel, but we only want to run this approval if the department that they selected is sales. So if they selected engineering, it would circumnavigate that and go directly on to onboarding tasks. That's just a brief example of how you can really refine this to be super specific and alter the flow of the workflow throughout Slack. You can also run them to have reminders. So if Adam does not approve this after 1 weekday of being assigned, it will mention him or even remind him based off of when the expected start date is. And then once you have this all saved and completed, you can always come back and see the instances and run reports on how many employee onboardings we had, how long it really takes to complete this, how can we refine our process, all while being in private channels to maintain that privacy. And you can also suggest workflows, because obviously we know that not everyone will know to start a workflow right away, but based on any message or any ticket, you can suggest a workflow to be completed. So someone says, hey, I need to hire someone. You could suggest for them to fill out this workflow specifically. And it will reply to Matt and say, hey, we use Wrangle to complete these requests. You can start this workflow specifically and pre-select it for them to fill out. And with Wrangle, there are many other options and specific features that we have specifically for HR to be posting these in private and public channels with lots of different use cases, specifically for HR and others as well. But with that, I'll stop sharing there so that Claire can go over a few more features that we have and kind of compare tickets versus workflows, as well as get into some of the pricing.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Let's kick this back off. And as a reminder, we'll do Q&A at the end. So any questions you have along the way, go ahead and pop them in the chat and we'll address them at the end here. All right, so here is a quick breakdown of some key features for HR teams that are shared between ticketing inboxes and workflows, and some that are unique to each. Tags, CSAT surveys, and canned replies are unique to tickets, whereas conditional logic for those better defined processes is unique to workflows. And now let's talk pricing. We charge $25 a month per user, and we include 10 users. Users are going to include your inbox and workflow admins, your inbox agents, and your workflow assignees. Everyone else is free. So anybody who's just a requester, both for tickets and workflows, do not count towards your billable user count. We do also offer a 20% discount for annual agreements. All right, so we will open the floor to Q&A. We've got some questions here. Matt, first one I've got for you is, we saw the suggest a workflow. We've also got a question of whether you can do something similar for tickets.
Yes, we definitely can. Let me share my screen again, and I can go through what that looks like. So if someone messages either in any channel, or even if it's a direct message, and they say, hey, I have an IT question. You can very easily, just like you can with suggest a workflow, go to more actions on that message anywhere in Slack, and you can start a ticket with Wrangle. And it will pull in their message as the ticket name. And also whoever wrote that message, the author of the message, will be here as the creator. And then you just need to throw it to the right inbox where it needs to go. So they asked if they had an IT question, so we can just send that over to the IT team. And it replies to them and says, hey, we've created this ticket for you. And now the IT team can come in and claim this ticket and work on it. And it works the exact same way, whether it's in a public channel or a private channel. So Adam said, hey, help me here. I start a ticket, it pulls in Adam as the creator and his name, and I just need to throw it to the correct inbox. And it will reply to him. Sorry, I've done this a few times, but you can reply to him and it will say, hey, Adam, I created ticket number 900 to track your request. And there's the link to it. So yeah, you can suggest either a workflow or a ticket from any message anywhere in Slack.
Awesome, thanks. Another question while you've got this open was if you could show us a little bit more about the DMs that Wrangle sends in the Slack app. So for these private inboxes and these private tickets, these private tickets and private workflows, we saw the list of created by me, but there's a request to also see the DMs in that messages tab.
Yes. So you can view your tickets, whether they're in a private channel that you're not a part of, or a public channel directly here in the dashboard. But also up above, there is a messages tab. And this will give the requesters DMs about the status of their tickets, or when a workflow is completed that went to a private channel that they're not a part of. So they could go back here and see when Wrangle is notifying them about updates to their items. And it's also here in the dashboard under that specific ticket or workflow item as well.
Awesome, thanks. Another question we've got is how to remove and add users in the Wrangle app.
Yeah, so whether you have a ticket inbox that you want to add users to answer questions, like our webinar private ticket inbox, say I want to go to users and permissions, and I want to add another admin here to answer questions because Claire and I are getting overwhelmed. We can add any user in Slack and just select which role we want them to play. So we can add them either as an agent or an admin, and now they are part of this inbox to help answer questions for us. And then we can save those changes. And the same is true of workflows. If we go to our employee onboarding workflow and go to settings under users and permissions, we can again add admin that we can use to help edit these workflows and view these reporting features as well. So that's always under users and permissions, both for workflows and for ticket inboxes.
Awesome. And I know this is something that comes up a lot as well. So since we're here on the web, would you mind also showing us the billing tab so we can keep an eye on who counts as our billable users?
Yeah, absolutely. So down here at the bottom left-hand corner, we do have a billing tab, which will show you how many users that you're currently at, as well as which workflows and which ticket inboxes they are a part of. You can see Adam, he's counted as a billable user because he is an approver of this workflow, IT access request. But also Claire and I are a part of many workflows and many inboxes, and we each still only count as one user, despite the quantity of workflows we are admins of.
Awesome, thank you. I believe that is it for the questions we got. So I wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. We appreciate you taking out some time out of your day to learn a little bit more. As a reminder, you can rewatch this webinar on demand. Just go back to your registration confirmation. This should be available later this afternoon. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us using the live chat on our website, or you can reply to any of the emails we sent you about the webinar. Feel free to reach out. We are happy to help. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye.